Okay, let's explore this. We often hear about rapid change sweeping across the globe, about age-old traditions facing erosion, particularly among younger generations.
Yeah, that's a common narrative.
Exactly. But what if, in a country as vast and vibrant as India, currently the world's youngest nation by population, something truly ancient isn't fading away, but is instead reawakening,
Okay, interesting.
only in a completely new, often surprising form? That's the
Yeah.
fascinating paradox we're diving into today.
Right, a reawakening, not a disappearance.
Our specific focus for this deep dive is how Gen Z in India, this enormous and incredibly dynamic demographic, is profoundly redefining spirituality.
And it's a huge group we're talking about.
Huge. They're moving far beyond the traditional norms and expectations that previous generations and even many outside observers might hold.
Yeah, the assumptions often don't match the reality.
The central idea, the core insight that truly captures the essence of this monumental shift is this. This isn't your grandfather's spirituality. This is Gen Z's Dharma.
Gen Z's Dharma. I like that framing. It captures the essence.
It's a fundamental reimagining, a powerful reinterpretation of what it means to be spiritual in the 21st century. We're drawing our key insights today from an exceptionally compelling documentary titled Gen Z in the New Dharma: How Young India is Redefining Spirituality.
Great source material. Very visual, very insightful.
We've extracted a comprehensive stack of notes and observations from its powerful narrative and striking visuals. Our mission for you, the listener, is to give you a clear, insightful grasp of this quiet revolution.
It really is quiet in some ways, isn't it, happening beneath the surface?
Totally. It's a profound story of silence amidst a noisy world, a story that offers a unique lens into how an entire generation is finding meaning. By the end of this deep dive, you'll have a clear shortcut to being incredibly well-informed about this significant cultural transformation happening right now, far beyond just the headlines.
What's truly fascinating here is that while this phenomenon has a uniquely Indian context, deeply rooted in its ancient spiritual traditions, it isn't merely a local occurrence.
Right, you see echoes elsewhere.
Absolutely. It reflects broader, indeed global, trends that we observe across cultures and continents. We're seeing an accelerating wave of personalization in almost every aspect of life, from how we consume information and goods to how we construct our belief systems.
Everything is becoming bespoke, tailored.
Pretty much. Simultaneously, there's this seamless, almost invisible integration of digital tools into every facet of our existence, extending even to the deeply personal and the sacred.
Which is a huge part of this story.
It is. Understanding how a demographic as massive and influential as Gen Z in India navigates this complex interplay between deep-rooted tradition and hypermodernity offers profound, universal insights into cultural evolution itself, and indeed the enduring human need for meaning and connection.
So it tells us something about ourselves, too, potentially.
I think so. It poses a crucial question for all of us, regardless of where we live. How do we find grounding, purpose, and peace in an increasingly fast-paced, rapidly changing, and often overwhelming world?
A question many people are asking right now.
Exactly. The documentary opens with this incredible visual contrast, a powerful juxtaposition that immediately sets the stage for the entire narrative. On one hand, you're immersed in wide shots of bustling Indian cities, the chaotic, relentless energy of Mumbai trains at rush hour, packed with commuters.
We can almost feel the crush.
You can. The vibrant, almost overwhelming chatter of Delhi cafes, filled with young people, students hurrying, shoulders hunched under immense pressure, to overcrowded coaching centers, all vividly reflecting the relentless academic and professional competition that defines their daily lives.
That pressure cooker environment.
That's it, precisely. This is the external reality of Gen Z in urban India, a constant sensory overload, an environment of fierce competition.
Okay, so that's one side.
But then, almost immediately, the scene shifts. The camera cuts to these strikingly silent, intimate moments that feel entirely removed from the urban sprawl. You see a delicate plume of incense rising from a small personal shrine, its tendrils curling towards the ceiling in a quiet room.
A real sense of stillness there.
Mm-hmm. A teenager, seemingly detached from the world, is quietly lighting a candle near their laptop, headphones plugged in, completely absorbed in their own space.
Like creating their own little bubble.
Exactly. It's this immediate, almost jarring visual contrast between the external chaos of their world and the internal quest for quiet, for solace, for meaning that instantly grabs your attention and communicates the core tension of their existence.
That tension is palpable right from the start.
And right there, intertwined with these scenes, you get your first undeniable glimpse of social media's pervasive role. A screen recording of a phone scrolls past, revealing an array of incredibly common digital artifacts that have become new spiritual gateways.
Ah, the digital angle comes in early.
Very early. You see a viral reel titled How to Manifest in 5 Steps, offering quick, actionable spiritual advice. Another reel flashes morning Gita affirmations, taking ancient wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita.
A really foundational text.
Absolutely. Known for its profound philosophical dialogue and transforming it into bite-sized, daily motivational snippets. And then there's a travel vlog, My Trip to Kedarnath, documenting a personal pilgrimage.
So it's not just consuming, it's creating and sharing, too.
Yes, exactly. These aren't just forms of entertainment or casual scrolling. They're the new digital conduits for spiritual exploration and expression. This opening sequence immediately tells you that this isn't about abandoning belief or tradition. It's about fundamentally transforming its very medium, its expression, and its accessibility for a new generation.
Right. It's adaptation, not abandonment. So how does this high-pressure, constantly connected environment shake their spiritual quest? We're now delving into the core of what the documentary calls the personal revolution, a profound shift in how Gen Z approaches spirituality.
A revolution in personal terms, yeah.
Think for a moment about the environment Gen Z in India has actually grown up in. The documentary describes it with stark precision. Raised in chaos, pressured by competition, surrounded by noise.
That sums it up pretty intensely.
Imagine that daily reality. It's not just background noise or a casual setting. It's the very fabric of their existence. It's an unrelenting, hyper-competitive, high-stakes, hyper-connected world, amplified by constant digital stimulation and the weight of massive societal expectations.
It's an enormous amount to navigate.
And what are the implications of this constant high-pressure environment on their spiritual seeking? It's crucial to understand that it's not about outright rejecting religion entirely, which is a common, often simplistic assumption.
Yeah, people jump to that conclusion easily.
When we think about younger generations and their relationship with tradition, instead, as the documentary so insightfully points out, it's about personalizing it.
Personalizing it, that feels like the key word here.
I think so too. They're not discarding their spiritual heritage. They're profoundly reframing it, molding it to better suit their individual needs, their anxieties, and their desire for inner peace.
Making it work for them in their context.
Exactly. You see tangible, concrete examples of this everywhere in the film. A young person journaling meticulously under a night lamp, creating their own sacred space for introspection and self-dialogue away from the digital din.
Carving out that personal space.
You see popular meditation apps like Calm, ThinkRight.me, and Sattva open and actively used on their phones. These aren't just trendy apps. They're modern tools designed to facilitate ancient practices like mindfulness and meditation.
Using tech to access ancient techniques. Makes sense.
The B-roll footage effectively contrasts busy, bustling classrooms with sudden cuts to empty cafes or quiet corners in homes, vividly suggesting this constant, almost desperate search for moments of quiet solitude amidst the clamor of their lives.
That search for silence is powerful.
And then there's the poignant image of a teenager quietly reading tarot cards alone, seeking guidance from an alternative yet deeply personal source that resonates with their intuitive needs.
So pulling from different places, whatever feels right.
Exactly. The most profound shift here, for this generation, is in why they engage with these practices. It's a radical reorientation of purpose, moving away from obligation towards tangible, immediate utility.
The why is changing.
Fundamentally, the documentary's voiceover truly hits it home with this powerful statement. They light incense, not for tradition, but for therapy. And they meditate, not for moksha, that ultimate liberation or spiritual freedom often sought in traditional Hindu paths, but for mental health.
Wow. Tradition versus therapy, moksha versus mental health. That's a stark contrast.
It really is. This isn't a slight adjustment. It's a pragmatic, immediate utility that transforms spirituality from an abstract concept or an inherited duty into a powerful, accessible tool for navigating the very real, immediate challenges of anxiety, stress, digital overwhelm, and the relentless pressure to succeed in their daily lives.
So it's about coping, about grounding right now.
Right now. Spirituality for them isn't just about an afterlife or abstract concepts of enlightenment. It's about finding a sense of inner peace and equilibrium right now.
This profound reorientation raises an important question. If the pursuit isn't primarily about strict adherence to dogma or the grand ultimate liberation of moksha, what is the core shift?
Yeah, what replaces that, essentially?
It's a redefinition of spirituality as a practical, immediately applicable tool for personal well-being and psychological resilience. We heard it directly in a revealing interview snippet from the documentary, where a young person states with remarkable clarity, "I don't believe in rituals, but I believe in energy. I pray to feel grounded, not to be good."
That quote says so much.
Yeah.
Believe in energy, pray to feel grounded, not to be good.
It's incredibly illuminating, isn't it? Let's delve deeper into that. The rejection of rituals in favor of energy signifies a powerful move away from external prescribed actions and towards an internal felt reality.
What it feels like inside matters more than the specific action.
Precisely. It's less about what you perform and more about what you experience internally and how that experience genuinely makes you feel. Think about the sheer cognitive load and pressure Gen Z faces daily in India. The relentless academic rigor, the cutthroat competition for coveted jobs, the constant digital stimulation from social media, and the immense societal expectations to excel.
It's an overwhelming picture.
In such a high-stakes, demanding environment, the abstract promise of moksha or distant spiritual liberation might understandably feel less immediately relevant than the tangible here-and-now relief of feeling grounded.
Grounding becomes the immediate goal.
Being grounded is a fundamental human need when everything else in their world feels unstable, competitive, or overwhelming. And that powerful rejection of needing to be good that speaks volumes about a generation pushing back against the often judgmental or moralistic frameworks frequently associated with traditional religion.
Moving away from guilt or obligation.
Yes. It aligns instead with a desire for a more authentic, less prescriptive approach, where self-acceptance and internal peace take precedence over external validation or rigid adherence to a strict moral code. This is fundamentally about self-discovery and self-care first and foremost.
Integrating spiritual practices into a broader wellness toolkit.
Exactly. Integrating spiritual practices as another vital tool in their comprehensive mental health toolkit, alongside therapy, exercise, and healthy eating, all aimed at thriving in a challenging, relentless world.
That holistic view makes a lot of sense.
And if we connect this shift to the broader global picture, this pronounced focus on personal well-being aligns perfectly with the rising awareness and destigmatization of mental health issues, especially among youth worldwide.
A conversation that's much more open now.
Much more. This generation, both in India and globally, is far more open, articulate, and proactive about discussing anxiety, stress, depression, and the crucial need for self-care than any previous generation. Spirituality, in this evolving context, becomes another accessible, personalized resource in their expanding mental health toolkit.
So it's seen as a resource, not just a belief system.
Precisely. It's not just about dogma. It's about a holistic approach to navigating the complexities of modern life and building resilience. It signifies a mature recognition that inner peace is not a luxury, but a necessity, and that ancient practices can be incredibly potent allies in achieving it.
And what's incredibly compelling is that this isn't just anecdotal or based on a few interviews. The documentary backs this up with some truly robust, data-driven insights.
The numbers. Let's hear them.
Drawing from authoritative sources like the Pew Research Center's Global Studies on Religion, the YouGov survey, and MTV Youth Beta, which specifically track trends among young people in India. These aren't small sample sizes. These are indicators of broad, sweeping trends across a massive population.
Right, this gives it real weight.
Get this, 62% of India's Gen Z prays regularly.
Wow, 62%. That really cuts against the grain of the youth aren't religious narrative.
Completely defies it. It indicates an enduring active engagement. Beyond regular prayer, the data becomes even more telling about why they engage. 70% say spirituality helps them gain clarity.
70% for clarity. That links directly back to the grounding and mental health aspects we discussed.
Exactly. It directly speaks to the practical problem-solving utility. It's a way to cut through the immense noise, the competing demands, and the inherent confusion of modern life to find focus and direction.
Finding a signal in the noise.
Even more strikingly, 80% consume spiritual content online.
80% online. That's staggering.
It's perhaps the most significant number, indicating the profound digital transformation of spiritual access and consumption. Now, what do these numbers collectively tell us? They unequivocally demonstrate that, despite any preconceived notions about a decline in religiosity, engagement with spirituality in India is not only robust, but vibrantly active.
The engagement is there, undeniably.
However, and this is the crucial nuance, Its form and its purpose have profoundly evolved. It's no longer just about inherited practices or communal obligation. It's about active individuals seeking for tangible personal benefit.
Form and purpose, that's the core shift.
For you, the listener, this means understanding that the universal human need for meaning, for coping mechanisms, for connection to something larger than oneself is incredibly adaptive and persistent. India's Gen Z provides this powerful, living case study of how ancient spiritual impulses find new expression in contemporary contexts.
It's a microcosm of a larger adaptation, perhaps.
I think so. It challenges us to look beyond traditional markers of religiosity and recognize the dynamic, multifaceted ways people find purpose and peace today. It's a clear signal that the spiritual impulse is enduring, even as its manifestations transform into something uniquely modern.
A powerful case study indeed.
Building on that idea of personalization, what's the next big piece of this evolving spiritual puzzle? It's how technology has been seamlessly woven into this landscape. We're now entering the realm of tech meets temple, a vibrant space where the sacred truly meets the screen.
Tech meets temple, I like that.
Not in a way that diminishes it, but often enhances its reach and accessibility. For Gen Z, technology isn't an external tool, it's an extension of themselves. And this holds true for their spirituality as well.
It's just part of your world, fully integrated.
It's not a question of if technology is part of their lives, it's how ancient practices have been integrated almost effortlessly with modern digital tools. The documentary paints a very clear, almost immersive picture of this digital integration.
What kind of examples did they show?
You see screen recordings of Instagram reels that break down complex spiritual concepts into digestible, visually appealing chunks, like 5 lessons from Gita, referring to the Bhagavad Gita, that cornerstone Hindu scripture, or quick explainers on Kundalini Explained, the concept of divine energy believed to reside at the base of the spine.
Bite-sized spirituality for the digital age.
Exactly. These aren't long, dense treatises. They're designed for immediate, bite-sized consumption, fitting perfectly into the generation's content habits. Then there are temple live streams, not just passively playing on a family TV, but often streamed directly on a mobile phone.
Bringing the temple to them, wherever they are.
Allowing instant personal connection to a sacred space from anywhere, be it a crowded bus or a quiet dorm room. You even see a college student crammed onto a busy commute, plugged in, watching a motivational clip from a revered guru on their smartphone.
Spirituality on the go.
It's everywhere. Spirituality is no longer confined to specific times or physical places. It's a constant, on-demand presence, a companion in their daily rhythm. The voiceover in the documentary truly captures the essence of this digital integration, and it's profoundly insightful.
What did it say?
From temples to TikTok, Gen Z brings the sacred to screens. Their gods are now in 1080p. Their mantras, remix ready. Their philosophy, just a swipe away.
Wow. Gods in 1080p, mantras remix ready. That's evocative language.
Isn't it? Think about the powerful implications embedded in each phrase. 1080p isn't just a technical resolution. It signifies a visually rich, high-definition, immersive experience that aligns with their expectation of digital content quality.
Meeting them where they are, visually.
Remix-ready mantras means that traditional chants like Om Namah Shivaya aren't just recited in rote fashion. They're sampled, layered with modern beats, perhaps lo-fi music, becoming part of a broader, personalized soundscape that resonates with their aesthetic.
So the ancient sound meets the modern beat.
Right. And philosophy, just a swipe away, speaks to the incredible accessibility, the instant gratification, and the bite-sized nature of learning that this generation is accustomed to. It's a complete transformation of how spiritual knowledge is transmitted, consumed, and integrated into their fast-paced lives.
If we connect this to the broader picture, this seamless digital integration challenges a very traditional view that often suggests digitization somehow dilutes spirituality.
Yeah, the idea that it becomes less authentic on a screen.
Exactly. Or that the sacred loses its potency when it's mediated by a screen. But for Gen Z, the documentary insightfully shows us this is precisely not dilution. It's a vibrant new form of devotion and connection.
So they don't see it as less real.
Not at all, it seems. For them, it's about making spiritual practice relevant, accessible, and deeply personal, fitting into their contemporary mode of existence. The documentary vividly highlights this with fascinating split-screen montages that visually represent this blending.
For those show.
You see virtual pujas, Hindu worship ceremonies taking place online, guided meditations being followed on apps, and then, perhaps most tellingly, lo-fi beats with the ancient Sanskrit mantra Om Namah Shivaya playing subtly in the background.
The ancient and the modern, literally side by side.
Precisely. It's a sophisticated sensory experience that effortlessly combines the ancient with the contemporary, creating a unique spiritual ambiance that resonates with their digitally native sensibilities. The key insight here is profound and needs to be truly appreciated. For them, a 60-second clip of ancient wisdom is not dilution, it's devotion, digitized.
Devotion, digitized. That's powerful. Why, though? What makes it devotion for them?
Primarily, it's about unparalleled accessibility and convenience. You no longer need to travel long distances to a guru or a temple to access profound wisdom. It's literally in your pocket, on your device, available on demand.
Removing the traditional gatekeepers.
In a way. In a way, yes. This fits seamlessly into their consumption habits, which favor bite-sized, on-demand content that can be integrated into fragmented moments throughout their day. It's a powerful new way to connect with ancient wisdom, making it immediate, relevant, and personal to their daily lives.
Makes sense.
But this also raises fascinating implications for traditional spiritual authority and established institutions. If wisdom is democratized and available to everyone instantly, what does that mean for the role of the guru, the priest, or the established temple structure?
Right, it must be shifting their role significantly.
It forces a fundamental reevaluation of how spiritual guidance is provided, received, and sustained in an increasingly digital world. For you, the listener, this connection is clear and universal. How do you consume information and find meaning in a world saturated with digital content?
Good question.
Are you, too, finding sacred moments or profound insights in unexpected digital spaces, perhaps through online communities, virtual seminars, or even curated content feeds? It's a question that transcends geography and culture in our interconnected world, showing us how the spiritual quest adapts to new technological frontiers.
Building on that theme of active engagement, let's explore another profound shift. The soul seeks experience. This is about a deep, often visceral transition away from simply following prescribed rituals, often out of obligation, habit, or tradition.
Moving beyond just going through the motions.
Exactly. To actively seeking deeply personal lived experiences. It's about a hunger for authenticity, for direct, unmediated connection, and for a spiritual path that is felt, not just performed.
The experiential aspect becomes paramount.
Absolutely. The documentary uses incredibly vivid visual examples to illustrate this significant shift. You see stunning, sweeping drone shots of sacred sites like Rishikesh, a revered spiritual town in the Himalayas known for yoga and meditation.
Beautiful imagery, I imagine.
Stunning. Kedarnath, a remote and ancient Shamafa temple high in the mountains. And Varanasi, one of the oldest living cities in the world, sacred to Hindus and revered for its ghats along the river Ganga. These are places steeped in centuries of spiritual history, places that have traditionally been destinations for devout pilgrims.
Icons of traditional pilgrimage.
Right. But then the focus shifts dramatically to the youth themselves. You see them trekking to these ancient shrines, often with a camera in hand, sometimes even a DSLR, shooting vlogs to document their deeply personal journey.
Documenting the experience itself.
It's not just a physical journey of reaching a destination, it's an intensely personal journey of self-discovery, captured and shared. You see a young woman sitting quietly beside the mighty river Ganga, not performing a grand, elaborate ritual, but simply being present.
Just being there, absorbing it.
Absorbing the profound energy of the sacred river, finding stillness amidst the ancient flow. The voiceover perfectly encapsulates and elaborates on this profound shift. It's not enough to follow, they want to feel.
Follow versus feel. That's a powerful contrast.
From the Himalayas to Haridwar, India's youth are trading passive ritual for active experience. This is a critical distinction. To follow implies rote adherence, perhaps without deep personal understanding or emotional connection, a kind of inherited obedience.
Doing it because you're supposed to.
Right. To feel, however, is about visceral engagement, emotional resonance, and a subjective internal experience. This generation is actively choosing to participate in their spirituality, to immerse themselves in it fully, to engage all their senses, rather than just observing it from a distance or performing it out of habit.
It's about active participation, not passive observation.
The landscape of their spiritual quest is expanding from the traditional confines of temples and shrines to the vast open spaces of nature, to the quiet corners of their own minds, and into deeply personal introspection. It's about an authentic, felt connection, rather than a dutiful one.
What's particularly fascinating here is the emphatic emphasis on the individual journey and how it often takes center stage. The documentary underscores this with precision. They go alone, they carry DSLRs and journals, they climb not for pilgrimage but for presence.
Alone, with journals, not for pilgrimage, but presence. Every word there feels significant.
Each element is profoundly significant. They go alone, or often in small, intimate groups, suggests a deliberate focus on personal introspection and self-discovery, rather than solely communal experience or mass pilgrimage.
A very internal focus.
They carry DSLRs and journals. Tells us they are not just passively observing, they are actively documenting, reflecting, processing, and narrating their experiences in a very personal, curated way. This isn't just a trip. It's material for profound self-discovery, for internalizing lessons, and for crafting their own spiritual narrative.
The documentation is part of the process.
It seems so. And the crucial distinction, they climb not for pilgrimage, but for presence. Let's truly dissect the difference between a traditional pilgrimage and this Gen Z pilgrimage for presence.
Okay, what's the key difference?
Traditional pilgrimages, often undertaken by older generations, are typically collective, highly ritualized affairs undertaken for specific, often communal purposes like seeking blessings from a deity, fulfilling sacred vows, or even atonement for sins. The focus is often squarely on the destination.
Reaching the holy site, performing the ritual.
Exactly. The specific temple and the prescribed actions or rituals at that destination. Gen Z's approach, however, is markedly different. It is often solitary or with a handful of close friends. Their focus is emphatically on personal introspection, on finding a deep, unmediated connection to nature, on cultivating self-discovery, and on achieving a state of mental clarity and inner peace.
So the inner journey is the real destination.
That's a great way to put it. The journey itself, the internal transformation it facilitates, the feeling of being there and truly experiencing it becomes as important, if not more so, than the arrival at the sacred site or the performance of a specific ritual. It's about personal growth, spiritual solace, and authenticity, rather than simply fulfilling a religious duty.
A much more internal metric of success, then.
Absolutely. The poetic voiceover beautifully encapsulates this intrinsic, deeply personal drive that motivates them. They walk barefoot to ancient stones not because they were told to, but because something inside them whispered, "Go."
Wow.
Something inside them whispered, "Go."
Mm.
That's beautiful, isn't it? This is the very essence of intrinsic motivation, of an inner calling. It's an authentic desire to connect, to seek, to experience, rather than external compulsion or the heavy weight of generational expectation. It speaks to a deep, resonant personal connection to the spiritual landscape of India, a profound sense of authenticity in their seeking that arises from within.
Driven from the inside out.
It's a quiet whisper, not a loud command. It's a gentle pull towards meaning, towards stillness, towards self-understanding, rather than a forceful push by dogma or a sense of inherited duty. This profound shift encourages you, the listener, to consider what inspires your deepest learning or most profound connections.
Turning it back to us.
Is it external pressure or an internal whisper, a genuine curiosity or longing? When do you feel most authentically engaged in what you're learning or exploring? And how do you create opportunities for those deeply personal experiences in your own life?
Really good questions to reflect on. So what does this all mean when it comes to the very boundaries of faith itself? We're now moving into the many faces of faith, and what becomes strikingly clear is the incredible fluidity, adaptability, and inherent inclusivity embedded within Gen Z's spiritual practices.
Fluidity and inclusivity. Key themes again.
They are actively, and perhaps instinctively, breaking down traditional boundaries, pushing against the rigid boxes that previous generations might have felt compelled to stay within. They're forging spiritual paths that reflect their diverse identities and modern sensibilities.
Creating something that fits their identities.
Exactly. The documentary provides a truly powerful and diverse mosaic of visual examples that drive this point home with compelling clarity. You see a queer artist with incredible talent and sensitivity painting Ardhanarishvara.
The androgynous form of Shiva and Parvati.
Precisely. Symbolizing the perfect blend of masculine and feminine energies and thus transcending conventional gender binaries. This isn't just art. It's a profound spiritual statement, a reinterpretation of ancient symbols for a modern, inclusive understanding that resonates with contemporary identities and values.
Using ancient symbols in new, inclusive ways, that's powerful.
Then, in what might seem a surprisingly mundane setting, You see college girls charging crystals under moonlight, embracing New Age practices alongside ancient wisdom, blending different traditions seamlessly.
Crystals and moonlight, mixing it up.
You see a young man playing the tabla, a traditional Indian percussion instrument, deeply engaged in this ancient art form, while simultaneously streaming a live traditional Hindu worship ceremony involving lamps and prayers on his device.
Again, the traditional and the digital side by side, effortlessly.
It's a beautiful synthesis. And then the ultimate modern blend. A Gen Z founder launching an astrology app, taking ancient predictive wisdom and packaging it for the digital age, making it accessible to millions with just a tap.
Ancient wisdom meets modern entrepreneurship.
Right. The voice over the documentary sums it up perfectly and powerfully. Spirituality is no longer boxed, not by gender, not by identity, not by orthodoxy.
No more boxes. That feels like a liberation.
It does. This is nothing short of a declaration of liberation. It signifies a profound, intentional shift away from rigid interpretations, prescribed paths, and exclusive doctrines. It means that an individual's spiritual journey, for this generation, is not dictated by their gender identity, their sexual orientation, their background, or the strictures of a particular religious dogma.
It's open to everyone on their own terms.
It is instead an open, adaptable, and deeply personal quest for meaning, wisdom, and connection that transcends these traditional categories. They're not merely inheriting a spiritual path. They are actively crafting one that is genuinely their own, unconstrained by conventional limitations, seeking what resonates and serves their holistic well-being.
This fluidity and deliberate blending raise an important question. If spirituality is no longer confined by traditional boxes, if they're not bound by orthodoxy, what are they truly seeking?
Yeah, if it's not about following the rules, what's the goal?
The documentary makes it profoundly clear. Gen Z blends what works: Vedic mantras, Buddhist calm, tarot readings, temple chants, full moon journaling. This isn't an accidental hodgepodge or a superficial mixing. It's a deliberate, intuitive, and deeply personal synthesis.
A curated spirituality.
That's a perfect term for it. They are curating their spiritual practices, drawing elements from ancient Indian texts like the Vedas, some of the oldest sacred Hindu texts, embracing the peace and mindfulness inherent in Buddhist traditions, incorporating the intuitive guidance offered by tarot, still engaging with the communal energy of traditional temple chants, and even integrating more contemporary wellness practices like full moon journaling.
Pulling from everywhere, essentially.
It's an eclectic, rich tapestry of practices, all chosen not out of obligation, but because they genuinely resonate personally and provide tangible benefit. The profound statement the documentary makes about this blending is perhaps the most significant takeaway from this entire deep dive.
What's the statement?
They are not seekers of gods. They are seekers of meaning.
Wow. Not seekers of gods, but seekers of meaning. That distinction feels huge.
It's a crucial distinction. It's less about allegiance to a specific deity, a particular religious institution, or a singular prescribed spiritual path, and far more about finding personal resonance, extracting timeless wisdom, and discovering genuine purpose from a multitude of diverse sources.
So the what you believe in is less important than the why, the meaning you derive.
Exactly. This isn't about converting or choosing one religion over another. It's about finding tools, insights, and perspectives that help them navigate their complex lives, understand their place in the world, and cultivate inner peace. It's a shift from external worship to internal wisdom.
Which makes sense given their focus on personal well-being.
The implications of this syncretism, this blending of diverse traditions, are vast and transformative. It fundamentally challenges traditional religious frameworks that have often relied on exclusivity, strict dogma, or a singular pathway to salvation.
Because they're saying there isn't just one path.
Precisely. Instead, it fosters a more personalized, almost bricolage approach to spirituality, where individuals actively construct their own meaning systems by drawing from various traditions and philosophies. This personalized, curated approach reflects a generation that intrinsically values authenticity and individual truth above prescribed paths or collective adherence.
Valuing authenticity above all else.
It prompts us to reflect with you, the listener. How do different sources of wisdom and comfort, perhaps from vastly different traditions or even from non-spiritual sources like science or art, come together in your life to create a sense of meaning or purpose?
We all do this to some extent, perhaps.
I think we do. This blending isn't unique to India's Gen Z. It's a growing global phenomenon, signaling a universal human impulse to customize the spiritual quest.
Okay, so building on this incredible adaptability, let's look ahead to faith in the future. What does this accelerating intersection of spirituality and emerging technologies really mean for what's next?
Where is this heading?
This isn't just about current trends. It's about understanding the trajectory of spiritual evolution in a rapidly digitizing world. How will the ancient and the modern continue to fuse, shaping the very nature of belief and practice? The documentary offers some incredibly compelling and frankly almost futuristic visuals that give us a powerful glimpse of this evolving landscape.
Like what? What did they show?
We see an AI voice, perfectly synthesized and calming, reading a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, that profound Hindu scripture, demonstrating how ancient wisdom can be delivered by artificial intelligence, making it accessible even in non-traditional formats.
AI delivering scripture. That's definitely future forward.
Then there's a meditation app that dynamically suggests a specific chant or guided meditation based on the user's real-time mood, perhaps detected through biometric feedback or user input.
Adaptive spirituality based on your mood. Personalized to the moment.
It's spirituality adapting to your emotional state, providing personalized solace on demand. And perhaps most evocatively, we see digital pilgrims mapping their yatra, their spiritual journey or pilgrimage, not with a folded paper map, but meticulously on Google Earth.
Planning a pilgrimage on Google Earth.
Planning their sacred path through satellite imagery, overlaying ancient roots onto the digital world. It's the sacred quest being reimagined and facilitated by digital tools. The voiceover's prediction for the future is striking, visionary, and truly encapsulates the profound nature of this shift.
What's the prediction?
The future of faith won't be found in bricks alone. It will echo in bytes. The divine will speak through code. The temple will be in your pocket. The mantra will be adaptive.
Echo and bytes. Divine will speak through code. Temple in your pocket. That's mind-bending stuff.
Isn't it? This statement really encapsulates the profound redefinition underway. Echo in bytes means that digital presence will be as significant, if not more so, than physical presence for spiritual engagement. The divine will speak through code implies that algorithms, artificial intelligence, and digital platforms will become increasingly sophisticated conduits for spiritual guidance, reflection, and connection.
So AI could become a spiritual guide, in a sense.
Potentially. And the ideas of the temple in your pocket and the mantra will be adaptive, signify ultimate personalization and omnipresent accessibility. Your spiritual guide, your sacred space, and your personal practice will literally be with you, tailored precisely to you, wherever you go, whenever you need it.
Spirituality as a personalized adaptive app.
It's a spiritual revolution unfolding in the palm of your hand, a continuous evolving connection.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it fundamentally reshapes our understanding of the evolution of spiritual practice and the very nature of religious institutions. The idea that the temple will be in your pocket, the mantra will be adaptive, isn't just a catchy phrase.
No, it's more than that.
It signifies an unprecedented level of personalization and accessibility that challenges the traditional centralized models of faith. This means spiritual guidance, sacred texts, and devotional practices can be delivered on demand, tailored to individual needs, moods, and learning styles.
Removing all barriers to access, almost.
It radically democratizes access to spiritual resources in a way that traditional, geographically bound institutions often cannot, allowing for a deeply personalized spiritual experience that was unimaginable in previous eras. The documentary's powerful concluding thought for this section really brings it all together and offers a profound reflection.
What's that final thought?
In the land of thousands of gods, Gen Z builds their own pantheon powered by belief, by stillness, by story.
Building their own pantheon, that's a striking image.
It's a truly profound concept. A pantheon usually refers to a collective of gods, often established and revered by an entire culture or civilization, passed down through generations. But here, it's a pantheon built not on inherited tradition or collective worship of established deities, but on individual belief and personal experience.
So defined from the bottom up by the individual.
Exactly. It emphasizes the active, creative, and highly agency-driven role of this generation in shaping their spiritual world and their understanding of the divine. And what are the foundational elements that power this new, personalized pantheon?
Belief, stillness, and story, it said.
Precisely. Belief, yes, but not necessarily a rigid, dogmatic belief. Rather, an open-ended trust in something larger than themselves, a sense of wonder and connection. Stillness is crucial, the profound desire for inner peace, for moments of quiet and reflection amidst the constant external noise and chaos of their lives.
That search for quiet again.
And story. This refers to both the deeply personal narrative, the individual's unique journey of meaning-making and self-discovery, and the shared human experience of navigating life's challenges, finding solace, and connecting with a collective wisdom that transcends generations.
The personal narrative as a sacred text
In
almost.
a way, these are the driving, enduring forces behind this new spiritual architecture. It pushes you, the listener, to consider. What role do you foresee technology playing in your spiritual or personal growth journey in the future? How might your pursuit of meaning continue to evolve and adapt in a world that is increasingly digital, individualized, and constantly presenting new ways to connect with ancient wisdom?
Heavy questions for the future. So what does this all mean for the bigger picture, for the future of spirituality and cultural evolution? This entire deep dive has shown us that Gen Z in India, despite growing up in an environment we've described as chaotic, relentlessly competitive, and undeniably noisy,
A really tough environment.
is not disengaging from the spiritual. On the contrary, they are actively, passionately, and creatively seeking meaning, finding it in unexpected places and through truly innovative methods. They are finding their own paths to grounding.
Having meaning on their own terms.
The documentary closes with this beautiful, slow montage that truly encapsulates the essence of this quiet revolution and the personal victories within it. You see a DL, a traditional oil lamp, flickering softly in a dark room, symbolizing hope, inner light, and personal sanctity, even in solitude.
Simple, powerful imagery.
A lone teenager is shown meditating, finding their center amidst the world's distractions, a powerful image of inner resilience. Then, a simple yet profound smile appears on a young person's face after a difficult moment, representing the small, deeply personal victories found in this evolving spiritual landscape, moments of solace and clarity.
Those small moments of finding peace.
And finally, these intimate scenes fade into a breathtaking sunrise over the majestic river Ganga, connecting the ancient, enduring spiritual heart of India with this new dawn, this new way of being. These powerful visuals aren't about grand religious declarations or collective worship. They're about quiet, deeply personal moments of connection, introspection, and solace.
The personal triumph amidst the chaos.
The documentary's core message, delivered with such a soft, reflective tone, truly resonates and acts as a powerful synthesis. They may not know every shloka, every Sanskrit verse. They may not attend every puja, every ritualistic worship. But in their anxiety, their silence, their scroll, they search for something eternal.
The search continues, even if the methods change.
And sometimes they find it. This isn't a judgment of their practices. It's a profound observation of an enduring human yearning. It's about the human spirit's persistent quest for something beyond the immediate, something timeless, something sacred, even when that quest is expressed through modern mediums in deeply personalized forms.
The human need for the eternal persists.
This isn't a break from tradition. It's evolution. It's vibrant reinterpretation. It's a testament to how the fundamental human need for spiritual engagement endures, even as its forms and expressions adapt profoundly to a new generation and a new world, reflecting the values and realities of the 21st century.
What's truly fascinating here is the profound insight from the documentary's closing text, which serves as a powerful summary for everything we've explored today. India's youngest generation is not losing faith. They're rediscovering it in a language all their own.
Not losing faith, rediscovering it. That's the key takeaway.
It really is. This isn't a story of decline or abandonment of ancient ways, but rather a vibrant story of renewal, resilience, and remarkable adaptability. It's a testament to the enduring power of human spirituality, showing us how deep-rooted traditions can morph, find new life, and flourish when filtered through the unique experiences, anxieties, and technological fluency of a new generation.
So a story of hope, in many ways.
I think so. This leads us to a final provocative thought for you to consider, something to mull over long after this deep dive concludes. In an increasingly digital, individualized, and often chaotic world where personal choice and self-curation reign supreme, does the future of personal meaning lie not in abandoning ancient wisdom, but precisely in translating it?
Translating it for our times.
Reinterpreting it and applying it in a language and a practice uniquely our own. Much like Gen Z in India is doing, are we all, in our own ways, building our personal pantheons, not of gods, but of meaning powered by our unique beliefs, our fundamental human search for stillness amidst the noise, and the evolving stories we tell ourselves about our place in this complex modern world?
Are we all becoming translators of ancient wisdom for ourselves?
Perhaps. It encourages continued exploration of how ancient traditions adapt to contemporary needs and how new technologies can, unexpectedly, facilitate profoundly personal spiritual journeys for you and for people around the world.